Hi everyone, welcome to another LeadSquared webinar. I think it's been a while since I spoke to those from the finance sector, more specifically those from the lending sector. I probably met some of you last time at this roundtable that we had last month or the month before, and I can't remember. But glad to have you back. Thanks so much for joining another LeadSquared webinar. As you can see, the topic today is all about a digitally assisted lending journey and basically transforming lending for a post-pandemic India. So some of the things that we will cover today are, of course, building a phygital sales process, regimenting your sales teams, executing processes seamlessly across the website, apps, call centers, offline teams, reducing TATs, weeding out low quality leads, tracking, automating communication, empowering your team to upsell, cross sell. So we will be covering that and a lot more. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, please keep them coming. And our expert today, Shrey, I'll get into him in a bit. He will be taking up all the questions. So keep your questions coming. There's a question tab there. Whatever you have to say, comments, feedback, anything at all, please post it there. Right, so now coming to the speaker, we have Mr. Shrey from LeadSquared. He is a principal consultant here. He has over 13 years of experience in formulating business transaction strategies, service delivery, implementing complete project life cycle across banking domains. He's been involved in various process innovations, improvements to basically improve efficiency. So Shrey, thank you so much for joining us. If you could also please share a few lines about yourself, your experience in this domain before we get into the session.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Shibani, for a quick intro. So about myself, been working into BFSI industry, as Shibani said, right, from last 13 years, been part of multiple banks as well as insurance organizations. The key role which I was into earlier was in terms of digital strategy formulation, ensuring, having maximum usage of digital channels, ensuring sales, ensuring operational efficiencies, and digitizing the process, not only for the customers, but within the organizations as well.
Awesome. Okay.
So guys, going ahead today, we are going to get into an interesting webinar where, we'll be talking about how LeadSquared can help you to transform your lending journeys post the pandemic, right? So pandemic as such has been, a kind of a multiplying factor in terms of, say, the digitization journey. So, was reading an article. In that article, it mentioned that, pandemic has pushed digitization at least by 10 years ahead. So the things which we were supposed to do in 10 years, most probably will be doing in another 1 year. So, pandemic in terms of, you can say, demonetization versus pandemic has, has a more than 20x push in terms of digitization, which we had faced when we had a demonetization in the year 2016. So moving ahead, guys, quick introduction about LeadSquared. So we have been in business from past 9 years. We have our headquarters located in Bangalore in India. We are a made in India company with more than 350 plus employees. We have, 1,000 plus customers across the globe. So the biggies like Kotak, Excite Life, Aditya Birla Finance, Bharti AXA. So, you name it, we have it. We are one of the, biggest service providers in edutech industries. So we have Vedantu and Byju's as one of our marquee customers from in terms of tech industry, as well as in terms of lending, we have Clicks, Profectus Capital, as well as Kubera, plus many more. In terms of users, we have more than 100K users globally who are using our web application, LeadSquared platform, and more than 50,000 users using our mobile application. Sorry. So today, we are going to cover a quick, how we can use LeadSquared, and this is the agenda which I've set for today. If there are any questions, please feel free to use the questions tab and put in your questions, and we can take it ahead. So the key takeaway from my side from this session, which I would want to, have is how we can help you to design a phygital journey. specifically in terms of lending coming from, tier 2, tier 3 cities where they are not much comfortable doing an end-to-end digital journey, and how we can help you increase your sales efficiency, increase your disbursement, and reduce your cost. So these are the key KPIs which I'm going to focus today. Sorry. So quick introduction, COVID-19 pandemic has in fact brought fresh opportunities as well as challenges to our lending industry. Specifically, if you compare pre-pandemic, people were more focused towards retail loan market after the bloodbath which we had with the corporate loans, right? So the retail loan market pre-COVID era, which was already seeing a growth, a strong growth. Most of the organizations were focusing on retail market, and at the end of 2019 it looked like the go-to thing, right? Now with COVID, implications have changed, the market scenario has changed. So what we foresee is that there will be a likely fresh wave of demand for specifically low value loans from individuals and businesses which are hit by the liquidity crunch and slowdown because of the pandemic. Furthermore, the government of India has announced stimulus and relief measures to combat this slowdown. And if you see overall from a lending per se, the most of the onus of lending and as well as recovery has been put by government on the banks and financial institutions. The main challenge now in this scenario, if you see, right, there are basically two prone challenges which the lenders face. One is they want to quickly disburse more and more loans to the people, as well as ensure that credit risk is kept at a minimum, right? On one hand, they are likely to see surge in loan applications and inquiry as well, but on the other side, they are likely to, see a kind of forbearance and moratoriums till the time the economy stabilizes, right? So in this scenario, another important point which will face where we will face unprecedented challenges is collection. So as per the recent RBI estimates, right, the NPAs, the gross NPAs for commercial banks will increase to approximately 8.5% by from 8.5% to 12.5% by March 2021. And it may further escalate to 14.7%, if the scenario is still stressed and, the pandemic doesn't go away quickly. However, there are still positive shoots, positive signs where, we can see, where the lenders and the financial institutions which are digital native have significant competitive advantages. The people who and the organizations who are using modern digital technologies to drive processes from prospecting to fulfillment, along with advanced analytics and contextual customer communications, have a sustainable competitive advantage in overcoming these challenges, and they will be able to leverage the capabilities of their platforms and convert them into opportunities. So basically pandemic will add a momentum, as well as there will be an urgency in lending industry to shift towards digitization. So that's an overall macroeconomic view of where we are and where we are moving ahead. Going ahead, why do we need to go for a phygital approach? It's it's a very important question which each and every digital guy who is into digital lending needs to answer, right? So it is a kind of an indisputable fact that digital lending is something which is the future, right? As per the recent study and analysis which has been done, 50% of the loan seekers are the persons who have internet access or have purchased a loan online. These people are mostly from the tier 1 and the tier 2 cities. So digitizing the lending process brings multiple benefits, including improving your sales effectiveness, reducing your updating costs, and it more over and above, it will ensure that there are data driven decisions which will be done using Digital India initiatives which were launched by Government of India few years back, right? Where we had Jandan accounts, we had Aadhaar. So the JAM project which the government ran was something which will be a pivotal and a building block basis which Indians will be adopting digital banking, and bringing greater financial inclusion than ever before. Plus, the current pandemic has necessitated a rapid shift to contactless, paperless lending practices. That said, the ground realities in India do not support complete digital move. So why in India, going completely digital will not work out, right? So if you consider the data which we have in terms of demographic and the internet penetration which we have in India, right? So, in 2019, India had around 560 million internet users across the country, where, our penetration of internet is less than 50% of our population. We are well behind, several of our neighbors. Even among internet users, there is a huge reluctance to use digital banking for routine transactions. While we say that digital banking penetration would have been increased by 200% and the frequency of digital channel usage would also have increased by 400% in the last 3 years, specifically attributed to demonetization, launching of UPI, and various other initiatives by NPCI and Government of India, right? But there is still a set of customers who are a bit reluctant. They would still visit branches and do different kind of transaction by visiting branches. So given in this case, if you see, the approach would have to be a hybrid approach. It has to be a hybrid mix of both physical and digital, because that is something which is the need of the day, right? So in this scenario, the financial industry should recognize that, while we have increasing digital ready population, there are many individuals and businesses are still not comfortable uploading sensitive information and documents on a portal or on a mobile application, right? Also specifically targeting in terms of tier 3 and tier 4 cities, there are people, who would still not want to upload anything. They would still prefer to go to the branch and, speak to a person face to face and give him some documentation and complete their loan or, a lending journey. So according to this, mindset which we have, plus the current situations, what we have done is we have built a comprehensive lending CRM, which blends, it gives you both best of both worlds. It gives you, good experience in terms of physical as well as digital process. It will help you to create a seamless omni-channel experience for each and every customer. So how we are able to achieve it, is to involve best of both worlds. So, by using LeadSquare, we have, delivered and enabled more than multiple BFSI customers using, best of offline as well as online processes and streamline the customer experience. So what are the results which we have achieved using this hybrid journey, right? So we have seen the increase in sales volume by 20 to 25%. We have seen improvement in the efficiency. We have seen increase in the customer satisfaction rate as well, right? So this is something which is, we have to go ahead. If we are looking to improve our sales effectiveness and reduce our operating cost, right, then digitization along with some, flavor of a physical touch to the customer is something which is a way forward. So without this, it would be difficult to grow effectively. That's my take on the overall situation. Moving ahead, Shibani, am I audible?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. So moving ahead, what we propose is, what we can help you do is, we will help you future-proof your lending using LeadSquared. How we will be able to do it, that is something which is I'm going to cover today. So LeadSquared Lending CRM offers solution for the entire loan life cycle, from the time of marketing to sales to cross-sell, upsell, from the time, to selling a third-party product to, enable debt recovery as well. Over and above this, just try to imagine a scenario. Say if you have an existing customer who is a home loan customer for you, right? In that case, say he's visiting your website and he's visiting specifically car loan page. So that is something which currently goes unnoticed. Those kind of opportunities are currently something which we are missing, right? So LeadSquare will help you capture such, soft signals from customers, and it will help you to act upon those signals. Over and above that, the solution or the workflow which you make, right, it's completely modular in nature. What it will do is it will help you to make changes on the fly and have effective sales strategy, or as well as a collection strategy in terms of debt recovery as per your business requirement. What's more, from LeadSquare standpoint, we have something which we call this as pre-configured, and it is completely ready to set up out of the box. It can be implemented in few hours for simple use cases and within 6 to 8 weeks for a complex scenarios. So from a solution per se, it's kind of a no code or a low code solution which does not have any partner dependency. Additionally, the flexibility which the platform provides, right, it ensures that team can modify the marketing processes, sales processes, operation workflows on the go. All these features will offer lenders the agility and responsiveness which they need in today's competitive market, and help them to evolve and grow with the competition which they are facing right now. Most importantly, from a security standpoint, we have a bank grade securities. All the customers' data is stored and distributed among Amazon data centers. We meet globally acceptable compliance like ISO certification. We comply with GDPR regulations, and we are also HIPAA compliant, along with many more security compliances required in terms of VAPT, in terms of security, web security, etc. So this is something which we do day in day out with multiple of our other customers, and that's something which we will help you to future proof and ensure that you have a scalable as well as a agile platform which will help you achieve your business goals. So moving ahead, let's start with loan application management, right? So say, for example, there is a person who where, a lead comes in, maybe through a digital marketing, or maybe he comes on your website, he fills up a form saying that, he's interested in a car loan. So the major challenge over here is, that many times in a digital journey, there are drop-offs which happen. So in case of drop-offs, how do you handle drop-offs? So I was recently sharing one of my personal experience. I was buying a health insurance specifically from this COVID perspective. I went on a leading aggregator website, and I started my journey. I got some work call and I interrupted it. And I got a call from their contact center around 2 days back, 2 days after I had initiated the request, right? So for me, it was kind of a completely unorganized way, right? That I had done something on Monday and I'm getting a call on Wednesday. So that was something which was not a great experience for me. So specifically in terms of customer experience, when the customer is dropping off, the sooner you act on it, is there are more chances of converting this kind of customers, right? So drop off management is something which we do quite effectively basis of business rules. If you want to have a call, integrate with your IVR, your telephony solution, that is something which we do as an out of the box, providing our connectors. Second thing is, in terms of, say, if the application is completed, we can have a kind of a pre-qualification or a pre-screening criteria where we can have a credit check, do an integration with CIBIL, etc., and then send it to your underwriting team and do the document collection, verifications, etc., right? So from an overall loan application management per se, in terms of from the time the customer comes on the application till the time he completes the application, that is something which you can do and track end to end using LeadSquare platform. Moving towards lead capture, right? So LeadSquare captures all your leads from different sources in one place. So what it does is it basically creates a single source of truth for your organization, be it any channel. If a lead comes to me on WhatsApp or on my website, or say it comes to me from a sales rep, or say from a partner, right, or an aggregator, everything gets captured into a single application which gives you a single source of truth for your organization. What it does is it helps you bring the lead leakage down to zero. Next, we have something which we call it as a quality score, right? Using quality score feature, we can do an auto qualification of marketing leads based on quality criteria. When, in addition, so for example, say if I am doing a quality analysis in terms of, say, if the age group of the prospect is between, say, 25 years to 40 years, if his annual income is this, then, basis the past trend, it has a more probability of conversion. So quality score, what it does is it helps you prioritize and focus on the customers which have a high probability of conversion, right? So that is something which is quite important, and it helps you in terms of prioritization and distribution when you're doing your distribution to the sales rep. In addition to this features, we also have a complete source analytics where the lenders can take data driven decisions, where they should invest their efforts and money in terms of marketing efforts, etc. Next, we have multiple modes of application, right? So customers have a choice to, start their application, be it a self-serve online or an assisted online, or a, say, telephonic journey in case if there is a drop-off, right? So what it does is it helps lender to offer a, easy solution, a user-friendly application and forms, which they can assist customers to fill those forms with relevant documents on a portal, and also helps customers and individuals from a standpoint where they can track what is happening for their application, etc. So in terms of end-to-end digitization journey, it does, it captures everything and anything from a, data capture standpoint in real time. It ensures complete transparency between all teams. All the necessary information about the status, the inquiries of a application, approvals are on a click of a button. This, what it does is it improves the efficiency and results it into a faster turnaround time, which in turns have help you to achieve better customer experience. Last thing on lead capture is something which I would want to focus, is something which we called as LeadSquare app marketplace. So what marketplace does is it provides you a pre-built connectors where you can connect to your websites on a click of a button if it's API driven, right? Be it 99 acres, housing.com, or you want to run a campaign in terms of Facebook and Google ad chats, etc. So this is something which helps you in terms of faster go live time, right? So the gestation period which you have with other application vis-a-vis LeadSquare is completely different. So that's the value which we bring on the table. Moving ahead in terms of lead management. So lead management, what we do is LeadSquare as a CRM enables automated lead capture and distribution along with tracking capabilities. So, be it the type of the lead, right? It can be basis the loan type, the location, or the availability of the agent or the application status. So basis different attributes of the lead, different attributes of your sales rep, you can do the lead assignment, basis availability, basis location, etc. What we also do over and above this, we help in terms of giving soft signals, which we spoke about, right? If say a customer is visiting my website for an auto loan, so I will I'm sorry, so I will be able to understand that he is looking for an auto loan, and I will give it to the right sales rep. So that's in terms of overall, in terms of lead management. Plus the main advantage over here, it's the low code platform which we bring on the table, right? It has simple drag and drop interface which allows managers or the administrators to create forms, workflows, and processes which will help them regiment their sales processes and will give them the flexibility and agility which is much needed to change processes on the fly. So say for example, my one lead distribution is not working, right? Say I'm not getting the expected ROI for that lead distribution. I can go ahead and make changes on the fly and get that lead distribution change. What it also does is it empowers your team, right, to in terms of do it yourself strategy, where you can use various pre-built connectors which we have in our app marketplace, and integrate an overall solution in terms of contact center, integrated in terms of your credit team, your operations team, etc. So what it also helps you to do is, it helps you to reach out to the people and helps you to nudge them to complete the journey. It helps, what it does is it helps your sales rep to assist them with, details where they would want to complete the fields with contextual emailers, insights, etc. Next, in terms of process execution. From process executions and automation standpoint, as I mentioned, right, we have an industry leading visual workflow automation builder, wherein using which you can do a pre-screening, pre-qualification, and weed out low quality leads. So just imagine, today your organization has set a limit. The CIBIL score should be, say, 750. If it is less than 750, I want to weed it out. Tomorrow, if you take a different stance or say there is a change in government or statutory regulation, you want to change the CIBIL score from 750 to 650. How much time will it take, right? So that is something which you can do on a click of a button. Plus, we have a capability in terms of API-based integrations with leading organizations, as well as leading integrations which are required. So we can integrate with Karza, we can do your statementing, we can build credit scorecards, which can help you accept and reject applications with a higher degree of accuracy and personalization. So, basis a certain scorecard or basis a certain rule set, if you want to offer a different rate of interest to a different set of customers, that is something which you can do it on the fly, right? So this is something which empowers your administrators and your team to fine tune the processes as per the business requirement and do it seamlessly, automatically. That's something which is, a key driving factor, specifically keeping in mind the current macroeconomic situation. Moving ahead, we also offer a comprehensive KYC solution. So, we have, in terms of capabilities, we can do your video KYC, we can help you do eKYC, Aadhaar based, offline Aadhaar based eKYC, and OTP based eKYC as well, right? So, end-to-end video KYC process is something which can be regimented and built on top of LeadSquared platform. So imagine from the time you generate a lead till the time you nurture the lead, you qualify the lead, do the credit checks, do the quality checks, do KYC, and hand it off to your LOS. So entire thing, the entire process is tracked on a single platform. That's the single source of truth. Moving ahead, in terms of cross sell and upsell, so LeadSquare gives you a kind of an advantage, right? So basis the current trend, or say basis the activity which your customer or a prospect may have done, right? So example which I took of a car loan. So if I'm browsing through my lender's profile, my lender's website, and I'm showing interest into multiple, say for example, be it a car loan or a gold loan, so I can capture those signals and notify them to the contact center or to the sales rep and give a personalized offer via our marketing automation, using an email, SMS, or a WhatsApp as a communication channel, right? So that is something which helps you to capture the customer's intent and act upon it immediately, right? That is something which you see is very important in current situation. Moving ahead now, in terms of collections, so I'd done a deep dive on collections webinar a couple of months back, right? So just doing a quick recap. So collections, from a LeadSquare standpoint, we treat collection on par with sales, right? Because collections is as important as you do your sales, because if you don't do recovery, then your sales and ROI will not have any impact. So how do we look at collections? So what we do at LeadSquare, we have segmented the overall collection process into a debt recovery pyramid, where the bottom layer of this pyramid will talk more about borrower management, automation, borrower management in terms of borrower segmentation, prioritization, communications, and notifications. Plus, we have built an advanced analytics where you can do progressive collection efficiencies, understand what is the collection efficiency happening at a say state level or a zonal level or a cluster level. You can track the collection efficiency even at a collection agent level. So that is something which we do by enabling your collections team with our mobile app. Moving ahead, the top layer of the pyramid is something which we call as recovery enablers. In recovery enablers, we help you to define your collection strategy, your settlement prioritization, and your contact center prioritization. So overall, keeping in mind this pyramid, it will help you to do your debt recovery at a much faster pace with lower cost. That's something which we have done for multiple other customers as well. It's something which we can do for you as well, right? Moving ahead, doing a bit deep dive into borrower segmentation. So in terms of borrower segmentation, it is more important to capture the borrower attributes as well as your collection agent attributes. So you don't want to end up in a scenario, say for example, you have a customer who is in say Tamil Nadu who knows only Tamil, right? And someone from Haryana calling him from your contact center, speaking fluent Hindi and English and trying to do a collection from him, right? So that is something which we don't want to end up into a scenario. This is where the distribution criteria plays an important role. So what we do at LeadSquared differently is we can configure and segment the borrower in a way and assign it to the relevant collection agent, keeping in mind borrower attributes as well as agent attributes. So what it will do is it will help you to assign cases and have a kind of a customer experience where you will be able to do collections at much lower cost. So that's something which is quite important. Going ahead in terms of borrower prioritization. So borrower prioritization is basically it helps you to do a prioritization keeping in mind the debt and the borrower's past payment history. So whenever you divide or you segment into a soft or a hard bucket in terms of your collection strategy, it can be basis various parameters. It can be basis DPD, it can be basis the amount, it can be basis the persona of the borrower, right? So say tomorrow you want to have a different prioritization. Say you want to target someone who has not paid for 3 months, or say you want to target someone who has not paid for only 1 month. So how you can do it is something by using our automation capability, you can do a prioritization with couple of clicks. So that's where we come in and help you manage your prioritization effectively. Moving next in terms of categorization. So what LeadSquared does is it can help you identify for if you want to have an automated payment reminders to a certain segment. Say for example, there is one borrower who has not made payment only for this month, but usually he makes payment on a time. Then you would want to nudge him with periodic reminders via SMSs and emails. Whereas there is another borrower who is always late with his payment. You have to call him, put some efforts, and do collections. So, basis the type of borrowers, you can do categorizations and formulate your collection strategy in terms of, which works for your line of business, which works for your organizations. Moving ahead in terms of communication automation. So, this is something which is a key differentiator if you compare any other collection systems which, you or your organizations would have been using, right? So, in my experience, what I have felt is that always in terms of collections, communication is something which plays a very important factor. So, let's take a practical example. If someone is, behind his credit card due date, and say your contact center guy calls him and he tells you that I'll make a payment by 10th. So on that event, if you immediately send him a payment link saying that this link is valid till 10th and you make a payment on it, that is something which will have a different impact vis-a-vis, a link or an SMS going to him on the next day, which happens in most of the legacy systems or the legacy collection management systems which are used widely right now, right? So, communication again is something at LeadSquare, it's an integrated solution. So, when any communication which happens is visible in the activity history for that particular borrower. So what it helps you is, it helps you assess that what this borrower is doing, whether he's making a payment, whether he's breaking his promise to pay, etc., and helps you design your communication strategy in a way with where you are able to send relevant messages on the relevant channels to the borrower as per his behavior with your organization. So that's all from my side in terms of collections. On a concluding note, so what I feel is phygital is something which we have to embrace wholeheartedly, right? If we are only looking at digital in terms of lending, then in this post-COVID scenario, end-to-end end-to-end sales transformation solution is something which we can offer and help you get much needed competitive advantage and help you transition from physical mode to a phygital mode of operations. It will help you increase your sales effectiveness, as well it will help you to target the customers which you were not able to target before. So that's it from my side. These are the
Sure.
things which...
Yes, Shrey. Please go on.
I'm sorry, I'm having a bad throat.
Not a problem at all. I'm also slightly under the weather, but all good. No problem at all.
So I was saying, from LeadSquare perspective, the things which I have covered, that why you should go for LeadSquare. So LeadSquare, as I mentioned, it's a low code or no code application developer platform where from in terms of a TCO, we have a fast implementation, we have no partner dependency, we have a agility and platform flexibility to modify your marketing and sales operation workflows on the go. It has a huge adoption rate. So we have customers where their sales rep are highly qualified, and we also have customers where their sales reps are not that qualified. So in terms of end-to-end sales platform, end-to-end your digitization platform, LeadSquare is something which is a go-to platform for you. Going ahead, in terms of use cases, these are the use cases which we solve specifically across the broader segment market, be it lending, be it insurance, be it marketplaces, e-commerce, and education. So from the time of lead management to STP workflows, pre-qualification, self-assisted portals, KYC documents, contact center management, collections, LOS, LMS integrations, anything you name it, we have done it in the past, and we do it quite differently vis-a-vis the competitors which we have in the market, right? So these are the use cases which we solve and help you grow. In terms of award and recognition, this is a quick gist. We have been awarded Fast 50 in India for last 5 years by Deloitte Technologies. We have been, #1 marketing automation software by NASSCOM, and we are something in terms of a differentiator when it comes to lead management system, in terms of your marketing automation, in terms of helping you to go to a journey of digitization at a much faster pace. So that's something which we do, we bring on a table for you. So that's it from my side. Any questions? Happy to answer them.
Sure, Shrey. So I'll start with the first question. Is from Ashish. He says, how is the system connected with CIBIL data?
So what we do, Ashish, is we can do an integration with CIBIL basis the APIs which financial institutions, be it NBFC or banks, provide. And we can integrate with that API and build scorecards, which I just showcased it to you.
Okay, and there's a follow-up question. Do you help us get the API access from various agencies?
So to answer to that question, we can help you connect to various agencies who can give you access to the APIs. That's point number one. As per the regulation, right, CIBIL data can be only pulled by financial institutions. Being a fintech, to an extent we directly won't be able to pull CIBIL data, but yes, we can help you connect with our partner ecosystem who provides this kind of APIs as a service.
Right. Okay. Ashish, if you have any follow-up questions, please do ask. I am, in the meantime, moving on to Sonali's question. She says, do you have a standalone collection system that I can integrate with my lending platform?
Absolutely, Sonali, we have a standalone collection system as well, which we can easily integrate with your loan management system and have an end-to-end digitization in terms of collections, be it your soft collection in terms of contact center, be it your collection in terms of field agents, in case you are using multiple agencies for your collections, right? That is also something which we have enabled for one of our customers where they had a scenario basis different DPD and different product type, the collection should go to different agency. If the soft collection fails, then in case that is something which we have done it for a few of our customers, we will be happy to do it for you as well.
Okay. Then Ankita says, we already have Salesforce in place. What additional support would this provide?
So, Ankita, your question has an answer in itself. So, if you already have Salesforce in place, first and foremost, which I would want to point out is the TCO. So, the cost of ownership which you are paying for Salesforce vis-a-vis LeadSquare, that is something which I would suggest you to look into. Second point is in terms of agility, right? Say today, if you want to make one change on the Salesforce, you are completely dependent on the partner or the OEM in that case. They don't provide you a kind of a intuitive drag and drop workflow designer which we have in terms of our platform capabilities. So if you compare Salesforce to LeadSquare, then in terms of TCO, in terms of agility and flexibility, and in terms of you know faster time to market, say for example, a typical Salesforce implementation usually lasts for around 3 months to 6 months, depending on the requirements. Whereas in LeadSquare, we have done complex implementation in a matter of 8 to 12 weeks. So that's something which is a key differentiating factor.
Okay. Then Sonali has another question. She says, do you have an early warning system as well as NPA management system?
So Sonali, from in terms of an NPA management and system is something which is a core functionality of your loan management system. It's not something which a recovery system can provide. That's point number one. In terms of early warning, it depends on the use case. What do you term as early warning? So, I'll give you an example of a use case which we were able to solve for one of our customers. So, they wanted to have a kind of a check on CIBIL. If a customer is, say, defaulting on a payment for some other loan obligation, then it will pop up in their collections engine and it will be the first priority. They will nudge that customer even before the payment is due by doing a reminder calls, by doing an email and SMS communication. So if that is the use case, then yes, we can help you achieve that.
Okay. Then I'm moving to Nakul's question. He says, WhatsApp doesn't allow promotional messages. Will such notifications be counted as transactional messages in case of collection?
So Nakul, collection is basically a transaction, right? So from a transaction standpoint, collection is classified as a transactional message. So you can be rest assured about that.
Okay, and he has another question on Kalera integration. He says on the website, I saw that you don't have Kalera integration, but if not, how long would it take you to complete it?
So we have, for WhatsApp, we have already tied up with Kalera. So, if that is the use case, then yes, we already have an out-of-box integration. If you're talking about some other specific integrations, then in terms of integration, you can be rest assured, we are an open API system. In fact, our complete API documentation is available on the website. So, integration per se, depending on the complexity, I would say it won't take more than 1 week to 8 days. 6 to 8 days is something which I can say as of now at a very high level.
All right. So here's Harsh's question. He says, in case of loans against insurance policy, how can a customer register for a paperless auto pay or ECS facility?
So that again, is something where the natch instructions is something which you can use. So, recently NPCI has come up with e-natch facility. So when you're doing the loan application processing, or say you're doing a disbursement, so during this, say before disbursement, you can get a customer mandate, or get his natch instructions, or get him registered on e-natch to ensure automatic payment collection.
Okay, I am moving to Rajesh's question. He says home loans is one of the products where multiple underwriters are there, like bank internal credit, field verification, external legal guy, external technical guy, internal fraud check executive, and so on. So how paperless can a customer go in home loan?
So, that question is pretty valid given our current regulations and current, the scope of activities. In terms of home loan, what I can say, in terms of till the time you do a sanction, a kind of a sanction, till that process is something which you can do digitally. But in terms of, say, post sanction activities, which are, kind of a field verification, legal compliance, etc. So that's where, LeadSquare can help you to regiment that process. So say, for example, if I give an in principle sanction, and then I want to do a technical evaluation, a legal evaluation, so I can pass on that signals using LeadSquare to the relevant teams to work on it and collate the data and come back. So typically something which you would be doing in LOS, but that would be fragmented as such. It won't be a complete end-to-end stitching. It would be, it will go to one bucket, then it will go to the next bucket. So something, which you can think of doing is putting into one bucket, sending communication to everyone and getting responses, collating them, and then moving ahead to the next step. That's something which I would recommend.
All right. I am moving to Sandeep's question. He says, what are the ways of e-KYC verification you can offer?
So we offer end-to-end KYC solution, right? So if you want to do a Aadhaar-based e-KYC, we do that. If you want to do a biometric KYC, we offer that. If you want to do say a video KYC solution with your lead management, end-to-end along with your lead management, that is something which we can offer it to.
Okay. And I see one last question coming in. So far, I don't see any more. So it's from Sandeep. He says, would the processing fee for screening by CIBIL Karza will be borne by us, or you will have it integrated?
So as I mentioned, right? So the processing fee or the charges for the regular for CIBIL or Karza will have to be borne by the customer. So we will help you to integrate it, but the charges will be something which will have to be borne by the customer. So in this case, the financial institutions which we, interact with.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Shrey. I don't see any new questions coming in, so I think we can call it a day. Yes, people are also thanking you for a good session, Shrey. So thank you so much, not just from the audience, but from me as well, for giving us your time and for taking us through this. Just a quick reminder to all those who are interested in the insurance sector, digital sales in insurance. We have a webinar tomorrow at the same time, 3 p.m. IST, on digital sales in insurance. So tune in for that. I will go ahead and conclude this session. Shrey, if you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to add before we conclude.
Sure. So thanks a lot, everyone, for patiently listening to me and giving us your time. So if there are any further clarifications or any questions, we'll be happy to assist you on the journey which you want to take it ahead. Please feel free to reach out to us. You can drop mail to Shibani, or you can contact any one of us, or through LinkedIn post as well. So if there is anything, be rest assured we'll be able to solve your problem statement and help you achieve digitization at a faster rate.
Awesome. Great words there from Shrey. I couldn't have put it any better. Thanks so much again, and thank you, audience, for staying around. I hope to see some of you for the session tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.